TikTok account went viral after a mom announced she'd given away all 6 of her children because of the rapture.
So I have to come on here and say that I willingly gave up custody of my 6 kids to CPS because of the rapture. Before you guys come for me in the comments, you have to think about this logically. When the rapture comes and I get lifted up, who's gonna take care of my children? CPS.
And while the majority thought she was delusional, we have to think about it logically. This is a joke, right? Many were on her side, doing the unthinkable.
We're gonna give away houses, we're gonna give away cars, we're giving away different things, we're just giving everything away because we won't be here. We're leaving this earth.
Guys, I'm saying goodbye to my car. I've had for 5 years. But she's gonna go. I won't need her beyond September because I'm going home.
Was wondering if we could meet up and you could take care of my dog Abigail while I meet our Heavenly Father.
So they give me like this bundle. So it's like a bundle full of cash. So there's dollars, there's hundreds, there's 20s, there's 5s. So I have yet to count it up. So I'm going to count it up and come back. Hold on.
Panic erupted as the latest apocalyptic prophecy spread like wildfire across TikTok.
These people genuinely believe that this is happening today. They think Jesus is coming today.
And even bolder, unhinged decisions followed.
I am so honored to be your mommy. You have been such a gift, and I will see you in heaven.
All to only wake up the next morning to a world unchanged.
Alrighty, folks. The rapture didn't happen.
But they didn't get things wrong. Believers say it was all just a mix-up and it's still coming.
Y'all, great news. The rapture, back on.
September 23rd or 24th was rumored among some groups to be the day many have been waiting for, the rapture. The prediction came from a South African pastor who claimed in a vision that Jesus revealed the date, and from there it spread onto TikTok, where users shared warnings and last-minute tips on how to prepare for what they believed would be the end.
Rapture trip tip number 3. Other possible options to leave messages behind. Save a note as a screensaver on your phone. Carry a folded piece of paper, a note in your pocket. Pre-write letters and keep them in your purse or backpack. People are going to check the 3 Ps immediately after you're gone. They're going to go through your pockets, your purse, and your phone immediately. While they're taking your money, you might as well leave them a useful note, like a gospel message or don't take the mark of the beast.
Others even reportedly took the opportunity to purge items from their homes.
If you're looking for some furniture, boy, do I have some good news for you, because Facebook Marketplace is hopping with rapture sales. People are listing their furniture, their jewelry, their worldly possessions for sale on Facebook Marketplace, and you can buy them. You can also donate your cash to people. While I am sad so many people are leaving us to go to the rapture, if you're like me and you're staying here on Earth, well then log on to Facebook Marketplace, because it's the perfect time to redecorate.
It's Rapture Day and I am so excited. Look at all these goodies our neighbors are throwing out. You'll never guess we found a 1969 Sputnik floor lamp that's worth just over $2,000. She needs a little bit of work. Well, look at her.
Amidst the many videos on all things rapture on TikTok, one case in particular has been circulating with claims that a woman actually gave her kids away to Child Protective Services in preparation for the rapture.
So a woman on here gave up her 6 kids to CPS because of the rapture.
Did you guys hear about that mom that gave her kids away to CPS because she thought that the rapture was going to happen?
Well, I don't know if any of you saw this video of the woman giving her kid to CPS because she thinks the rapture is going to happen. But that is actually my neighbor, and now she realizes the rapture isn't going to happen. She's freaking out, trying to get her kid back.
And after some digging, the original video was found.
So I have to come on here and say that I willingly gave up custody of my 6 kids to CPS because of the rapture. Before you guys come for me in the comments, you have to think about this logically. When the rapture comes and I get lifted up, who's going to take care of my children? CPS. I'm honestly just preparing. I want to be a responsible parent, and that's why I did what I did. My kids are signed over. Paperwork is done. I gave them a hug, I gave them a kiss, and I told them that I will miss them. Now, if the rapture does not happen, I'm not going to fight for custody of them. This was in God's plan. God put this in my mind to give up my children, and I just, went with what God was telling me. Sorry, but when Jesus pulls up, I didn't want to be caught left behind because I'm cutting grapes for my 3-year-old. You can call me selfish if you want, but I call that faith-based planning. My kids will be in better hands, and I know I'll see them once again when we are all together in heaven. Because if they are meant to be with me, then, we'll meet each other again. Being in foster care is not going to stop that.
And people were calling out this woman in the comments. They're in better hands. Let's be serious here. You gave them up. Let them hopefully find a family that will hold them tight no matter what. You didn't think your children were worthy to ascend to Jesus with you? That's insane. I mean, she's not wrong. They're definitely in better hands. Hey, so even if the rapture was coming, kids are taken up with the Lord because they are innocent. But it turns out that the OP, Exo-Jessie's bio describes their content as sarcasm and unserious, was a rage bait account, and she was just weaving a satirical story. But being a parody doesn't make it entirely baseless. And it's safe to say that some people went way beyond just having garage sales and giving tips to help others effortlessly say peace out to the world around them. Australian TikToker Tilahun Desalane, for example, has spent the last several months posting the many signs he's seen that symbolize the date of the rapture, backing up his decision to get rid of his car.
And look, the last 3 digits of my driver's license number that I've had for 10 years, 925. And it expires 1st of September 25. And he gave me Let's Fly 925 a couple weeks ago to let me know when the rapture was going to be. The rapture is coming September 24, 2025, baby. Roar, 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 roar.
Guys, tell me why the night before September 23rd, it is currently September 22nd for me, 8:35 p.m. You can see that time there. Tell me why we get Mark 9:23. If you can, said Jesus, everything is possible for one who believes. Everything is possible for one who believes. That means the rapture is possible if we believe in it. 9:23. Don't lose faith. It's gonna happen.
A lot of them appear to him in the form of license plates, but some seem to be a little more far-reaching than others.
And I saw this license plate. 239 RPZ. So the 23rd of the 9th, RPZ, Rapazo, and then the 526 right behind it. And clearly, to me, that means 23rd of the 9th, rapture. Now, rapture in the Greek is harpazo, and it contains HPZ in harpazo. I guess this could be rapazo. So the gematria value for rapture is 526. So if you add up all the words, all the letters of the word rapture spelt R-A-P-T-U-R-E. So each letter in Hebrew gematria has a value, and you add up the value of each letter, you get 526. But also, if you turn it clockwise, it becomes 925. Like if you turn it this way, the 526 becomes 925, September 2025.
And he wasn't joking around and even went so far as to sell his own vehicle in preparation for leaving Earth.
Guys, I'm saying goodbye to my car. I've had it for 5 years. They're taking it. No, this is my baby, man. This has been my baby for years. 5 years. But she's gonna go. I won't need her beyond September because I'm going home.
Some commenters wondered if he wasn't telling the truth as to the real reason the car was being towed away. He knows it's being repossessed. Repo, rapture, same. A couple were calling him out for going about this the wrong way. There's no reason to be doing this to prepare. The only preparation needed is in your heart. Forget about September. You should be ready every day. Sir, no disrespect, but you should ask God for discernment. But one commenter posted a pretty valid question. Why sell it? If the rapture happens, you won't need the money. If it doesn't happen, you'll need the car. But some believers actually took the whole you won't need your money anymore if you're raptured to heart and decided to give it away to strangers.
And so I picked up this couple from church, and they get in my car, and, they're weeping. And so I'm like, hey, is everything okay? They were like, yeah, the Lord is coming back. Jesus is coming back tomorrow. And I was like, wait, like tomorrow? They were like, yeah, I think it's like between the 23rd and the 24th.
And though he didn't know what they were talking about, it turned out that this ride would be a more lucrative one than he could have planned.
And so we're talking, and they're like, well, how are you? Is everything okay in your life? Like, we're trying to donate our money because we're not going to be here. The Lord is coming back and we're going to leave, and there's still going to be people here on earth, and things are going to change. So how are you doing? I said, I'm okay, but I could always, use some help. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to turn down nothing. They were like, okay, well, we were praying and we were all in church, and the pastor, he agreed that, the Lord is coming back. We were just praying because we have all this money. We want to give it away. I'm here. I'm here for the coins. Give me the coins. I'm here. So they were like, we were in church and we prayed like, Lord, we're going to order this Uber, and whoever our Uber driver is, we know that this person is going to need this money, so we want to go ahead and bless them with the money.
And bless him with the money they did.
So they give me like this bundle So it's like a bundle full of cash. It turned out to be $1,915 and some change. I didn't count all the change. It was probably more.
That's right. Complete strangers decided to gift this man with nearly $2,000 cash that ranged from US dollars, Canadian, some euros, as well as coins. But they weren't done blessing him yet.
So they lived in a nice neighborhood until they were like, you know what? What's your Cash App? Give us your Zelle. Give us your Venmo. Give us your this.
And they informed him that they were going to be in a prayer meeting later that night where others in the congregation planned to pool their assets together and continue gifting them to others.
We're going to give away houses. We're going to give away cars. We're giving away different things. We're just giving everything away because we won't be here. We're leaving this earth.
So he left them with his information and went on his way.
I was like, oh, wow. I really thank y'all and I appreciate y'all for this generous donation. It really came in handy. And I will accept any more donations that y'all want to give me. So I left them with all my information. And I'm hoping I hear from them, because this will help out with a lot of stuff. So thank y'all.
He felt at peace with accepting the money because he admittedly didn't think he'd be raptured along with them anyway. And he's not the only one willing to accept donations from believers.
If you think that's going to happen to you, and you have a farm, a Highland cow, some chickens, maybe a large plot of land, and you just think like, oh, how could I possibly be raptured and leave all of this behind and leave these animals uncared for? I do have a proposal for you. I'm Hannah. I take very good care of my cabin. I love old-timey crafts like spinning and weaving. I do want to have a homestead one day. And, you could just sign your farm over to me now. You can't take it with you. So why not just make it my farm so that when the rapture comes for you, you just don't have to even worry about it. I'm here. My DMs are open. Just let me know.
And one woman had some advice for people who owned pets and were banking on being taken away from Earth. She was telling people not to be drastic with their pets, but if they were really concerned, to give them away to someone they trust to care for the animal.
So what are y'all doing with y'all's animals if y'all have animals? Please, don't hurt your animals. Don't abandon them. Don't euthanize them. It's not right. If you believe that, you believe that. But don't hurt your animal. Don't do nothing to your pet. If you don't want to take care of the pet because you believe it that much, give it to somebody safe that will love your pet the right way.
And it seems one TikToker in particular was on the same page and decided to reach out to someone she thought would be a good caretaker for her pet. But it doesn't seem that it was received as well as she may have originally thought.
So apparently, I'm not getting raptured. I wake up today, not knowing nothing, have my coffee, open up my direct messages. One of the first ones I see is this. Hey Misha, I really love your videos and I know how much you love your dogs. I don't know if you've seen or heard about how the rapture is happening this week, but I live in Waco, only about 1 hour from you, so I was wondering if we could meet up and you could take care of my dog Abigail while I meet our Heavenly Father.
And this left Misha clearly feeling quite insulted by the insinuation and assumption that he would not be participating in the rapture.
Well, me, I guess. I said, ma'am, did you just straight up tell me to my face that I'm not worthy of getting raptured, so I should take care of your dog? Now listen, I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum and make fun of what people believe in, but if you watch my videos and you say, hey, I think you are a good enough person to watch my dog while I go meet Jay's but I don't think that you're good enough to join me, that's crazy.
And the woman actually continued the conversation with him.
She responded, oh, Keisha, don't be sensitive. I just thought I'd ask because you joke around too much about things that are serious to God. You're funny and have a good heart, but you don't give me the vibe that you've submitted to God. That's why I thought you'd be good to care for Abigail. I said, so you're saying I'm hell's designated dog sitter? Listen, I'm sincerely sorry that you've allowed a man and the social media algorithm to make you believe this is happening, but on Wednesday, when you're still here, feel free to unfollow me because you're being rude.
And commenters on the video found humor in the situation. This is the funniest video I've watched all day. I'm a full-on Christian, love my Jesus, know the Bible. I didn't realize this was happening this week. Did the Lord send a newsletter? Don't all dogs go to heaven? But one comment made it clear that not everyone knows what a rapture is, so let's give some context. The rapture is not a universal Christian belief, but a teaching rooted in a specific stream of theology known as dispensational premillennialism. This framework developed in the 19th century by John Nelson Darby and spread widely in the US through the Schofield Reference Bible, remains especially influential in certain Pentecostal, Baptist, fundamentalist, and non-denominational evangelical churches. Believers point to passages like 1 Thessalonians 4:16-17, which describes the Lord himself descending from heaven with a loud command, with the voice of the archangel with a trumpet call of God, followed by the dead in Christ rising and living believers being caught up in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. From this, it's thought that true believers will suddenly and supernaturally vanish from earth, taken to heaven in an instant. But it's bad news for those left behind, as they are believed to be left to face a 7-year tribulation, a time of war, famine, disasters, and persecution, before Christ's final return and judgment. Mainstream Christian theology generally rejects date setting for Christ's return, citing verses like Matthew 24:36. But about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Yet despite this warning, history is littered with failed prophecies, from 19th century preachers to Harold Camping's 2011 End Times countdowns. But how did the currently viral September prediction come about? That was thanks to a South African pastor named Joshua Makela, who gained attention in early 2025 when he claimed that Jesus had appeared to him in a vision, seated on a throne, and told him that he was coming soon, and the rapture would take place on September 23rd and 24th in 2025. He shared his testimony in interviews and sermons, recounting what he heard and saw and giving a definitive warning.
The rapture is upon us, whether you are ready or not.
Clips of his prophecy circulated widely online, first on YouTube and then spreading across TikTok, where #RaptureTalk was born, with hundreds of thousands sharing posts with this hashtag. And one of those TikTokers who took it upon themselves to sincerely post about what they believed to be the upcoming rapture, Melissa Johnston, decided to leave a number of helpful things throughout her home for whoever was left in the tribulation of earth, and came upon it after she and her family had gone up to heaven.
So yesterday I posted a video asking, what are we doing to prepare our homes as Christians for the people who are left behind? And so just today I kind of made a little list of like what I could think of. And then I went ahead and did these and I laminated them. And then I did like scriptures that like, I don't know, kind of elaborate a little bit about what Christianity is and how important it is. And then I did a letter to people, and I'm going to leave it. I don't know what I'm going to do with most of this stuff. But I mean, I'm trying my best. I'm trying my very best. So it's just like a little flow chart. These are things like based on, you can't really see, but based on the, versus the seals or trumpets, this is what you need to be doing to prepare. And then this one goes over what is happening, what they can expect, and then also like prepping.
Melissa also added that she would be stocking up on Bibles and candles later, in case there is no power following the rapture, and supplied an array of things that would help anyone living in the unknown times to follow.
And then it has this little pump thing where you can continue to drink water, because I'm pretty sure like the water and stuff's it's all electric, so maybe it's not gonna work anymore. So this is one of the things that we have. I wrote on here, this is where all of our medicine is. It's kind of messy, but all the medicine is in this far back one. And then also I have all of these containers that are also full of medicines. We have a nebulizer and stuff like that. We have a door going to our basement that has a code, so you can't just go in there, but I did write the door code on there. I put this little note up here, but this is our stockpile of food and stuff. So someone's going to be pretty set. I also want to show you these. We got these life straws on Amazon, and it goes up in here. So that we'll have that as well. Not us, because we won't be here, but everyone else can use it.
Melissa also posted a long video in which she wanted to clarify a few things. Joshua Mlakella's viral prophetic vision was not the reason for her preparations.
And that's not the case. I prepare for it all the time. I'm always, during the Feast of Trumpets, I'm always getting ready, right? But, I just, with the UN and, all this other stuff that took place, I was like, dude, it's really lining up. Like, damn, it could be it, right? I'm like, let's go.
She also went on to explain that she had been hearing a lot of concerns about the welfare of her children, living in a house where their mother is preparing for the rapture.
There's a lot of concern for my kids. And in bottom of my heart, I appreciate that. And if I came across a video of a lady who looked insane, I'd be concerned for her kids too. My kids, however, they literally have been making fun of me. Obviously, the youngest one, she's too little. She doesn't really get it. But like all my kids, most of my kids are older kids. And you guys would know that because you blew up their comments sections in their videos and sent them really disgusting, creepy DMs. You should check yourself on that.
And she seemed to understand where people were coming from, but wanted to assure everyone that they were okay.
I completely understand where you guys are coming from. But they're good. They're cool. I mean, who knows? Maybe there will be trauma later on, But I'll tell you this much. The trauma that they're going to obtain, I'm sure, is not from their mom, thinking the rapture is coming. I'm sure there's other stuff that I've done as a parent that's going to cause them trauma that they can talk to a therapist about. And, I'm okay with paying for that. As a parent, we don't exactly know what we're doing all the time.
This TikToker was concerned for the children of those who have been going harder and selling off their possessions and assuring their children that the end is nigh once all is said and done and the alleged day of the rapture came and went.
In a couple of days, we are going to see a massive trauma response from elementary schoolers and middle schoolers as they deconstruct why they were promised they were going to die and now they are not. Across the entire country, children are going to be losing their minds in a spiritual psychosis breakdown that not even their parents can control. So what the are they going to do?
Because sure enough, the proposed day of rapture did come and go, and everyone is still here. Melissa actually ended up deleting all of her recent rapture-related videos, and Tilahun, who was so sure about the date that he sold his vehicle, had this to say.
Alrighty, folks. The rapture didn't happen like I said it would, and I promised that when it didn't happen, by the time that I said it would, that I would upload a video of me publicly apologizing and repenting of my failed prediction. So I've been talking about the rapture happening in September, going all the way back to June. June 21st was my really first video where I started speculating about a potential rapture happening in September, and then, since then, I've kind of just gone with it.
He went on to apologize multiple times for any hurt, anxiety, pressure, or disappointment he may have caused others, and declared that he would never speculate about the date of the rapture again.
September 23rd and 24th have come and gone. So I want to publicly, apologize to everyone that I convinced to get their hopes up high about the rapture happening September 23rd and 24th, and obviously it didn't happen. I still believe it will happen. I just don't know anymore when it will happen, and I'm not going to speculate anymore. I'm never going to talk about the rapture. I'm just going to look forward to it happening. I'll watch in my own private time but I won't talk about it publicly.
But not everyone was as reflective as Theology upon discovering they had been wrong in their belief.
So the rapture didn't happen, and the lady who just got out of my car chose violence this morning. We're driving down the road, and she says, "Do you know why I had to use Uber this morning?" And I said, "No, why?" And she said, "I sold my car for the rapture." And I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And she said, "Should have known that would be your answer." And I was like, "Pardon?" And she said, "You don't love the Lord, do you?" "Ma'am." "What?" I said, "Yeah, I love the Lord a lot." She said, "Did you think the rapture was going to happen?" And I said, "Honestly, no." And she said, "Yeah, so you're not a real Christian."
And after a bit more of a back and forth between the passenger and himself, he gave her a little insight into how things work from his point of view.
I said, "Ma'am, I have been a Christian for the majority of my life. And while I do know that there are many scriptures that point to an event of Jesus returning and taking his followers with him, it also says that if/when that happens, man will not know the day nor the hour. So what made you think that a guy in South Africa was going to have a dream that it was going to happen on one of 2 days and we were suddenly going to be called up to glory?" And she said, "You seem to be getting really defensive." And I said, "You called me a fake Christian. So yeah, I'll get defensive about who I am as a human." I said, "Sweetheart, that's the way you're supposed to live your life every day. You're supposed to live every single day as if heaven is your home. You're supposed to live every single day as if the relationship that you have with the creator of the universe is what is fueling everything you do and everything you say. And the one thing that my Jesus never told me to do was to get into a random person's car and try to make them feel less than."
And Misha's conversation with his follower who wanted him to watch her dog for her continued after the date passed as well.
So the rapture didn't happen. Today, I woke up to this. I just know you have something smug to say, but the joke is on you because this was just a test from God to see if we are ready and prepared for when the rapture really does come. I can lay my head down at night knowing I will be going. Still unfollowing you. That goalpost moved so quickly. I said, "Girl, at this point, I think you and God need to set up a Google Calendar or something because this seems disorganized." And she blocked me.
And it's funny, Misha would bring up a calendar miscommunication because, as usual with many failed apocalyptic movements, days after the alleged rapture date passed by, believers came out with a new theory, a calendar mix-up. Pastor Joshua McKella appeared back on Sent Twins TV on YouTube and explained that because the calendar was being used during the time that Jesus walked the earth was different from the one used today, the dates were interpreted wrong.
The difference is this, because they say that calendar is behind by 13 days. So if you want to come over to our current one,
October,
you have to add 13 days. When you come over to our calendar straight from the 23rd and the 24th of September 2025 in the Julian calendar, it takes you to the 7th of October.
That's right. Apparently believers have been led to look at the current Gregorian calendar, naturally, whereas they should have been looking at the Julian calendar, which would shift the rapture to October 7th and 8th.
Y'all, great news. The rapture is back on.
Yeah, I got so many confirmations, and it was so weird when it didn't happen, but if for some reason he will use a different calendar, even though Julius Caesar was not a godly man, then okay, let's go home. Either way, we know we are flying soon. I hope and pray he deems me worthy. Rapture will happen on October 6th, 7th, and 8th because on the calendar Jesus used, it would be on these days, and it's on the super harvest moon he's coming back. And at this revelation, Theology threw away his view to not talk about the rapture's date again and jumped right back on the wagon.
Did you know there was a thing called the Julian calendar? Yeah, and they use it for nearly 1600 years in the Western world. Nearly 1600 years. In 1582, they switched 1582. Just a bit over, let's do the math. 443 years ago, they switched over to the Gregorian calendar. So that means
September 23rd to the 24th has not passed yet on the Julian calendar. Let's address the elephant in the room. Do I believe in the October 6 to 7, which will be September 23rd to the 24th on the Julian calendar? Do I believe in a October 6 to 7 catching away? Harpazo. 1,000,000,000% that on September 23rd to the 24th on the Julian calendar, I believe there will be a catching away.
Not only has he gone back to posting about the specific date change against his own promise not to, he's even been pointing out signs and sightings again as well.
By the way, I got confirmation. 6 and 7 on 2 separate wooden planks. I stumbled on this a couple days ago. October 6, October 7.
And even Misha's conversation with his former follower continued after a brief unblocking.
This woman unblocked me today to let me know the rapture didn't happen because of a clerical error in God's office. I woke up today to, you owe me an apology. I just found out that it didn't happen last week because God didn't know that we don't use Julian time anymore. So the rapture is actually happening October 6th. You can make a post about me so you and all of your sinful followers can pass judgment. But maybe I'll pray that your dogs ascend and you get left behind. I said, LOL, did you unblock me to tell me this? That's so funny. But thank God you did, because I was worried about the state of my soul. But knowing God just got caught up in a time zone mix-up like he's American Airlines makes me feel a lot better. See y'all on October 6th.
And commenters on the video couldn't help but notice something a little off about this whole thing. Wait. So God knows all, sees all, but didn't know that the majority of the world changed their calendars centuries ago? My favorite is how an all-knowing God doesn't know what calendar we use. The September 23rd and 24th prophecy passed without incident, but not without fallout. Some mocked the hype, others clung tighter, shifting the date to fall under the Julian calendar. Time will tell if this new prediction fares any better or if believers are left scrambling once again to explain a rapture that doesn't come. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. It's the best thing to do to help us continue creating videos like this one about how TikTok is now begging CPS to save a child whose parent has been exposed as a sick monster.